Roman Reigns is back. The OTC has returned, and SummerSlam finally got the shot in the ass that it needed. Welcome to the 716 Sports Entertainment Podcast, episode number 35. We're going to be coming to you live, breaking down Monday Night Raw from last night, July the 14th, 2025. As always, I'm Mike with 716 Sports Entertainment Podcast, joined by Mr. T. Reese, and let's talk about that main event. Roman Reigns came down at the to make the save after the beatdown of the gauntlet match, which we'll get into in a little bit. But the OTC is back, and SummerSlam finally feels like it's a real program. How you feeling?
Well, let's let everyone know that we gave them the spoiler on this channel that we called. Me and you, Mikey.
It's true. Sean didn't believe it.
Showing up on Raw.
Don't be like Sean.
Don't be like Sean. And merchandise will be coming to you soon.
It will.
But either way, I did not. I mean, like I said, I thought it was going to. I got a little nervous, though. I will say that. I got a little nervous because it seemed like that ending was like, getting a little long. And I thought it was like, this is about to be it.
Yep.
When he came out, man, I don't even think Cody had a pop like that.
Nobody had a pop like that.
I mean, that arena erupted like a volcano.
Mm-hmm.
And then when he got in the ring, man, everybody was standing. Everybody was standing. And what I like best too is you still don't understand what his relationship's going to be with CM Punk. You see, he still didn't help him up.
No, and he was like holding his hand up too, like, "Bro, you can help me."
And he was just stood there and stared at him. So maybe we're seeing what Reigns stable is going to end up being. I still firmly believe it's going to be a fourth member mentioned for Seth Rollins' group. I think they're going to have to. Obviously, with Rollins, it looks like he already has 3 where he may will in CM Punk, or maybe somebody else, like Jacob, Sammy, or somebody could well join him as well. So, I mean, now I'm starting to feel a little more energy now. I'm starting to feel a little better.
Yeah, definitely. It's just, I messaged it to you guys this morning. Like, dude is such a star. Like, he's such a star, and like, there is nobody on his level. Like, not even Cody. And I love Cody. Cody's one of my favorites, but like, Roman is such a big star. If you would have told me that this in 2017, like that Roman Reigns was going to like gather this kind of reaction, in 2025, I would have like laughed in your face and called you an idiot. Like, because there's no way, because like back in the days of suffering succotash Roman Reigns, like we were just sick of him, when he was, in that forever feud with Brock Lesnar, and that he's now like the biggest star, and like not even close. No other company, not in WWE, there's no one close to as big a star as Roman Reigns. Not even close. And
I'm going to be honest with you.
It's awesome.
I mean, he might be rivaling out the greatest with the treatment he gets, dude.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the way he elevated that arena, boy, you were right on the opening. This was the shot that SummerSlam needed.
I mean, John Cena doesn't get that reaction. I mean, with all the negative shit that's gone on with Dwayne lately, Dwayne doesn't get that reaction. The only other person who gets that reaction is Austin.
And that's without him even being a babyface.
Mm-hmm.
He still gets that reaction. So kudos to Roman. I firmly believe he's only going to wrestle another year or so. And I think he's leaving. I think he has bigger things coming up. He's already getting into the Street Fighter movie.
Yeah.
I think this is his last few years. I think 2 years tops, and he's in Hollywood.
I mean, it's hard to say, right? He's making a Brinks truck right now to work not even a part-time schedule. Like, I dig it. Dude's making like, what is it, like $12 million a year, and he works like 10 dates a year. He's gonna milk this sucker as long as he possibly can, because they're gonna keep paying him.
Well, I know that, but don't forget who his cousin is.
Yeah, that's true.
And his cousin's well connected in Hollywood, and that seems like what Roman Reigns has been aiming to do anyway. That's why he's doing a lot more family stuff. He's off the screen now. He's about to be in a Street Fighter movie. I mean, once you're in one of those big budget films, you start popping up other places too right after that. So and he's gonna be
Yeah,
playing a pivotal character in that movie, Nakuma.
that's right. That's right.
Hey,
Yeah, I mean, we will certainly see. It's still gonna be hard as hell to picture him as Akuma, like with the big red hair and all that crap. Like that's gonna be wild, but should be a lot of fun.
yeah.
Um, so where do you think? Like, I feel like initially this was gonna be a match with Seth, right? Like this was always
Mhm.
kind of the plan that it was gonna be a match with Seth, but now it kind of seems like the direction that we're gonna go is Roman and Jay versus the Bronze, right? Like the Reed and Breaker. I don't think they're gonna do the singles match with just him and Breaker. Like I think him and Jay versus Bronson Reed and Braun Breaker is the match. What do you think?
I am not prepared to leave Seth out of this because
Well,
again,
I have a thought on Seth. I'll get it to you in a minute.
there's too much. I mean, there's too much back and forth, and WWE's giving mixed signals as far as what's going on with him. Normally, on one of their shows, they don't start having wrestlers go into discussions about other wrestlers' injuries and what their timetables are and all that stuff. They made a point to bring that up,
Yeah,
which was
they did.
very odd.
Yeah, it is very peculiar the way they're handling it because, like with Liv Morgan's injury, they told you the next week that she was going to be done for a
And that
while.
was it.
Yeah, and the fact that like Paul Heyman like had a segment where he didn't like say anything yet. I mean, unless maybe he hasn't had the MRI yet or whatever, because it was only 2 days ago, you
Mm,
know. So I mean, like, and I know that they had made mention that he came to watch what's her face
yeah, yeah, he's
Becky's match.
backstage. Yeah.
He was backstage for Becky's match. So I mean, it hadn't even been 24 hours. So it's certainly possible that like he hasn't gotten an MRI done yet on his knee. So
Mm-hmm.
we can't really say, but that had to be the program like initially. But my point, what I was going to get to is if Seth is not really injured, he's cashing in on the Gunther CM Punk match. 1,000%.
A
1,000%.
hundred percent. A
Yeah,
100%.
absolutely. Punk is going to win, or Punk is going to be about to win, and you're going to hear "Burn It Down," and he's going to march down and cash in on Punk because like
Absolutely.
that's the program.
Absolutely. I agree with you. That's the best way to book it. It has to be at that point in time because, again, I find it interesting that the reports are saying that Seth, which I had already heard a few days ago, they saying that Seth had already hurt his knee. Was it on SmackDown?
Yeah, somebody had said that if I don't know if it was on Raw or if it was on SmackDown like the week before, but like he tweaked his knee, like
I think
allegedly.
they said SmackDown that he injured his knee somehow.
Mm.
And he was going into this match already with a tweak of the knee. It was just
Hmm.
interesting that he still got in the ring with it,
Yeah,
considering that SummerSlam is on its way. If it's just a a little spring in the knee, why would WWE risk him in getting into this next match again?
yeah. I mean, LA Knight's a pretty safe worker, but
Yeah.
yeah, to your point, like why risk it at all? I mean, they only made that match a couple of weeks ago, so
Mm-hmm. Well, hopefully, you know, hopefully it's just a swerve that they're playing us right now. Because I would like to see how this story continues, get some continuity going. Um, but if not, you gotta wish the guy a speedy recovery.
yeah, absolutely, absolutely. And let's talk about that gauntlet match first because that was obviously what kind of led up to this, to the OTC's return. And unbelievably, one of the things that WWE can do really well is book gauntlet matches. They always do a good job with gauntlet matches. Like I'm always taken back to the time when um, Xavier Woods and Big E had to run through a gauntlet of a variety of tag teams, the Bar, the Usos at the time, and then a couple of other tag teams as well for Kofi to get his shot at Daniel Bryan for
Yeah.
WrestleMania. And I
Mm-hmm.
was just like taken back, like that was the one where like the Usos like forfeited like in the middle of that gauntlet match, and I'm like, I was like blown away by like how well they like did that particular one. And I think Kofi actually had another one as well, where he had to go through like a bunch of guys, and then he ended up losing to Daniel Bryan as the
Yeah,
champion at the
yeah,
end, you know.
yeah.
Um, but they always do a great job with gauntlet matches, and I don't think that this was any exception. This started off with Braun Breaker being the first entrant, and he immediately went up against Penta. So all the entrants were Braun Breaker, Penta, LA Knight, Jey Uso, and then CM Punk. But I mean, initially it started off with with those two guys, and there was still about almost an hour left in the show, like when this
Yeah.
gauntlet match started, and they gave each match, I don't know, I'd say 12 to 15 minutes for each one. Some were longer than others. The one with CM Punk was probably the shortest one, but I mean, the first spot with him and Penta was absolutely fantastic. Like, what did you think of like how that went, and we'll kind of like go through each match.
Well, I thought that, in my opinion, if you're going to continue to keep the enthusiasm behind Penta, then you want to. I would have put him at the third spot to enter the ring and
Hmm.
let him look real strong from that point. But then I figured the way they did it that time last night, perfect, perfect, because he looked real strong against them. He looked real strong. They were going back to back for a minute.
Hmm.
Um, I mean, you're right. The WWE knows how to book those matches, but again, they also have a lot of good talent that can hold in those matches. So, I mean,
Absolutely.
they can do a gauntlet match at any time of the week.
Hmm.
But I just got hats off to Braun. I mean, this
He
dude
looks
is
like a
about what
killer.
245, 250 pounds, and he is literally in the ring for what, an hour.
Yeah, I mean, basically, looks like an absolute killer.
I'm like, wow, the stamina of this guy's, and he was still able to do what he had to do at the end of the match.
Hmm.
I mean, right now, I'm gonna be honest with you, he's probably the best athlete in all of wrestling, pound for pound, size, strength, speed. I mean, he's what Brock Lesnar was when he first came out.
Oh yeah, absolutely, absolutely. It was just, he's just he's so refreshing to watch. Like it's just an absolute it's just an absolute treat to like watch him in the ring because like the way he can move around. And I loved how earlier in the night too, like when like right before this match started, Gunther obviously came out to the ring and had made mention that he went through Goldberg, and we basically kind of like, oh, who's next, and he ended up being up in the skybox, like kind of observing this match as it was going on. But Paul Heyman was certainly alluding to Roman Reigns and to Brock Lesnar during the speech that he gave, like kind of at Gunther's face a little bit there. But I loved how he was like, and he's a Steiner too, as well.
Yeah,
And
right, right.
making that note, and I was like, that's dope. That is so awesome that he said that.
And also, don't forget to get the homage to his uncle by doing the push-ups and flexing in the ring.
Yep, yep, yep.
It was great. That was great. I need him to do more of that.
Oh yeah, absolutely. So yeah, they had him and Penta had a great back and forth for maybe like 12 to 15 minutes, and then he ended up eating a spear and moved on to the next one, which was LA Knight. And LA Knight, came down to the ring, but he was certainly selling the ribs a little bit throughout this match, and that kind of makes sense. Like you don't want to have like a fresh, like I get it. Like you got to protect him a little bit, especially with if Cody's going to be gone for a while. LA Knight is probably going to be one of your biggest baby faces on SmackDown, so it makes a lot of sense to like protect him. And they played to that a lot during this match. He again hit him with a spear for the pinfall here, but with LA Knight, making the sell there, it protects LA Knight, but it also makes him look good as well. And I don't think either one of these, like I don't think LA Knight loses anything by being the second guy to go down here.
No, no, not at all. I think he's just kind of in the wings, you know, for after SummerSlam. I think is where you're really going to start seeing him take off. I also firmly believe you're going to probably see someone like Karrion Kross take off after SummerSlam as well. He had his own homage this week, which was pretty hilarious. I enjoyed listening to it. Um, but yeah, I mean, They're saving this match was kind of like let's save everybody, and Braun was kind of the workhorse for it.
Yeah.
Because I've never seen an injury bug like this in WWE in quite a
No.
while.
No.
And to see the top stars are all getting hurt is what's kind of that's the bummer of it all. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah. Then we had Braun Breaker and Jey Uso, who was the next entrant into the match. And at this point, like you got to start kind of like playing the game that they play a little bit, right? Where, Bronson Reed comes down to assist, Braun Breaker to get the finish, beats him, he hits Jey with the spear. Jey hits all of his moves on him. It was standard Jey Uso match. I think the problem that we ran into here, and obviously CM Punk was going to be the last one at this point. We knew CM Punk was going to be the last one at this point. You run the risk of when you have a guy who runs through guy after guy after guy and has a great match, you run the risk of the crowd getting behind that person and not being behind your babyface CM Punk. And CM Punk is obviously very well protected. So I think you have to have Bronson Reed interfere here to just like make it be like, yeah, dude's still a heel, right? Like you got to boo his ass, because like otherwise you're gonna have people like I don't know if you're gonna like I don't know if they want people to boo CM Punk or if they want people. I don't think people would have booed CM Punk, but they probably would have been cheering Braun Breaker more than they might have wanted them to.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree. Only thing that was a bit obnoxious was the yeeting in the middle of the match.
I knew you were gonna say that.
I mean, like, could you be any more obnoxious in a match? I mean,
Standard
he did it
stuff.
twice. I'm like, what are we doing? What are we doing right now? And I mean, and it seemed like the commercial break for that took forever. And I know they want you got to give Braun some time, to gather himself again for the second half of the matches. But I mean, they gave this guy like a day. I mean, the yeet. It don't take him forever to walk down the ring. I mean, it was so obnoxious. I mean, they could have sold that a little better. That's all I'm saying. They could have sold that a little better. You know what I'm saying? I mean, Jey could have rolled him up in the ring, put him in the corner, give him a couple punches, knock him down, let him sit him down in the corner, then get up and do your yeet, give him some time to breathe. But to just do it in the middle of him laying on the ground, waiting to be pinned, which was the most bizarre thing. Remember, he was on all fours. He was on all fours, remember? And I'm like, wait, what are we doing? And he walked right past him. I'm like, what? This is so bad. But outside of that, yeah, it ended well with the CM Punk thing. You definitely needed somebody to interfere in this match because you don't want to give anyone the edge in this storyline yet. So you want to pretty much keep interfering until you can get we'll get to SummerSlam to where you can start making some going other directions.
Yeah, absolutely. So CM Punk was obviously the last guy, and he beat Braun Breaker with the GTS. And after this was over, Jey Uso came down to kind of even the odds a little bit, and then the heels beat them down, and then Bronson Reed was going to go for the double tsunami after he stacked both of them when Roman Reigns made his return. So we don't know. Obviously, we don't know yet what Roman Reigns' match is going to be at SummerSlam, but obviously there is going to be one. But this show certainly did set several matches for the biggest party of the summer. So we have CM Punk now and Gunther going to be probably likely the main event of the first night of SummerSlam. Although, let's get into how this show started, because the way this show started could also be the main event of the first night of SummerSlam as well. Because hell of a match. And they are not going the direction that we kind of foreshadowed a little bit on this pod here. So the show kicked off with our new, freshly minted, cashed in Naomi, women's world champion, coming down to the ring and saying her piece, calling out the crowd, saying y'all don't get to cheer me when you weren't with me when I was with the Glow, which I liked. I liked that she referenced that. And she comes to Raw and she's the heel now. Liv is gone, so she is the number one female heel on Raw, and I'm all for it. I'm all for Naomi's new character. I think she's killing it with this, and I think it was great. I think it was absolutely great. So then, obviously, she was quickly interrupted by Rhea and Io as well. And one thing I want to say about Io in a second, which I didn't particularly care for, but they both came down to the ring and they both kind of like called their shot. And Adam Pierce comes out and says, "We're going to have a triple threat between you, between all three of you," and kind of gave the logic that, Rhea, you had it won. And then Io, you get your rematch. So this is how we're going to do it. Um, but I didn't particularly. Hang on. I want to ask you what you thought about this segment before I go into my rant. So, what did you think of this segment? And I mean, the match that we're going to get at SummerSlam.
I think it's probably one of the more interesting matches because you can go all three directions with these three. So this is going to be, when we do our picks, this is probably going to be maybe the toughest one out of all of them. Mm-hmm. I don't know if you agree with that or not, but I do.
Yeah, it's going to be hard, right? Because there's so many variables.
Right. And I'm waiting for. I didn't expect him to do the three-way match. I really didn't, because I didn't. Obviously, none of us expected Naomi to cash in on Sorry Night or on Evolution, but I do love her character. I think that she is going to be a focal point of Naomi on there. My own thing is, I don't want them to treat her how they treated Jay. You know what I mean?
No. Where are you going?
I don't want her just to be. You gave her the belt because you believe she deserved it for a chance, like they did Jay. But now it's going to be a short reign.
Well, it is going to be a short reign, right? Because you have a show coming up in Australia in October. You mean to tell me that your Australian megastar in Rhea Ripley is not going to be the champion or competing for the belt at that point? You're wrong if you think otherwise, right? Like, Rhea is 1000% either going to win the title in Australia or be the champion going into Australia. Like, one of those two things is going to happen. Which, I mean, looking at it now, it's July. And if you were to tell me that Naomi is going to get like a 3.5, 4 month reign as the champion, that's okay. If she goes through SummerSlam and wins, and she goes into the France show and wins, and then loses in Australia to Rhea in a singles match, I wouldn't hate that. I think that's acceptable, right? I mean, it's interesting to see like what we're gonna do with like we've got this match, and then maybe she's not even on the Paris show. I mean, maybe
that's true.
We do something completely different, right?
How should I say this? I don't want them to make all of her matches just a bunch of bumbling matches. A lot of people interfering because of other storylines and all this other stuff. I'd like to give her an opportunity to be respected as the champion, because I think she's one of the few women in backstage that I consider one of the pioneers, right up there with the Four Horsewomen, as the women that truly have evolved women's wrestling in WWE. And that impact has been felt through all the other wrestling organizations now. Because I mean, once again, once WWE started, really taking off with the women, even when they brought Ronda Rousey in and all this other stuff, everyone started copying and trying to get their top women on TV more. So I just want her to be able to, enjoy this title, because I think she deserves it. As one of the women there who've been through all the struggle and, the highs and lows, just, being a jobber, stuff like that. She's done it all in the WWE. So I think she does deserve her flowers and an opportunity to look good as being a heel champion.
And I mean, and taking the chance to totally and completely refresh and change her character, right? Because she's been the same Feel the Glow character for a decade, and she took a chance and she completely revitalized her character because you know what? The Feel the Glow Naomi would not be in this spot
No,
at all.
no,
At all.
no.
It would be we'd be having a radically different conversation. She wouldn't have won the briefcase, you know, it would have gone to somebody else.
Yep.
Um, if she was even in that match, you know. Um, so yeah, I give her tons of props. And I don't know. I kind of think that she's going to win at SummerSlam. I kind of think it makes the most sense. She's got to retain during her first title defense. I mean, maybe not, but I kind of want to go into my rant a little bit here. I don't love how entrances in WWE are kind of treated like and this happens a bit in AEW too, but not as much because their entrances aren't like as grandiose as they are in WWE.
Hmm.
But entrances in WWE are almost treated like they're cutscenes in like a video game, and
Yeah.
they're not like part of the story.
Yeah.
What I mean by that is my only gripe with this whole segment is like Rhea came out first, and Rhea looked a little pissed, but Rhea kind of always looks a little pissed, you know. But she was mouthing her song, which yes, she does that, but at the same time, I was kind of like, "Yo, you lost yesterday. You got screwed yesterday. You should
Hmm.
be pissed, right?" But my bigger problem was with Io. Io came out and she was the one who got pinned and lost her title. And
Hmm.
she was all smiles. She was doing her thing, like where she bends backwards and stuff. And I'm like, girl, like, you should be pissed. Like, what are
Yeah.
you doing? And like, it kind of just, for me, breaks the continuity a little bit, you know, because like, these girls should be furious. Like, you know, and they got that way. Like when they got in the ring, you know, even like when Naomi said something a little bit racist to
Hmm.
Io about how I
Yeah.
can't understand you. But it's
Yeah. Yeah.
but it's like what are we doing here? Like you should like they're like I get playing the music, but at the same time, come down to the ring and be
Uh,
pissed the whole way.
yo, listen, I know exactly what you mean because we went from a time period where the theme music of our favorite wrestlers was their personalities. And that's
Mm-hmm.
what carried over to the ring. And the way they came out to that music dictated storylines. So, Stone Cold coming out of the back, glass breaks, walks the ring, all business. That's what he's all about. And, The Rock comes down. He's all about just flashy and showmanship, but he also, with the times where he's coming out of the ring and being pissed off, or he'd stay up with the stage being pissed off and talking.
Mm-hmm.
Those days are gone. I liked it when the guys used to stand up there when they used to have the ramp, and guys would stay at the top of the ramp and they'd be talking back and forth from there. I love those days. I wish they would bring that back once in a while, because now you get the arena not just focused on one place in the arena. Now you're focusing, in two different places. So I wish there's some old school stuff that I really think they should bring back. Um, but outside of that, you're right. I mean, the entrance musics are so lame. I mean, none of them really sound all that great. None of them really memorable. Um, I don't know, dude. I don't know what WWE is doing. I heard that Metro Boomin has been trying to get a hold of WWE. Said he's willing to make music for it.
That'd be huge.
I think WWE highly needs to consider
Yeah.
contacting him and making a contract, because at least he'll bring this music, up to today. Because I don't know what this video game music stuff is for everybody now that comes out, but it's very right. It sounds like an old school video game music every time one of the new wrestlers come out. I don't even recognize who it is until they come out. The music is unrecognizable. I have to wait for someone to come out from backstage to know who it is.
Yeah, and I hate that. Like I hate
Yep.
that when there are I would say probably a dozen or so wrestlers where like their music plays before they come out, and if it doesn't say the name, I don't know who the hell they are. And like the music does need to make them like recognizable. I mean, I don't Naomi's is fine because like her name pops up on the Titantron like right away,
Yep.
but Io's music is recognizable. Rhea's music is obviously recognizable. Like you know instantly who it is, like when that music hits. And the same for like a lot of the top guys, but like the mid card people, if they don't, the name doesn't pop up, I don't know who half of these people are,
Nope. Nope.
and that's unfortunate. Yeah, I completely agree with you on that. Um, so we had a backstage segment in the Judgment Day clubhouse again. Finn Balor just doing his best work, being this goofy guy polishing up the titles. I freaking love it. And the same thing a little bit later with Dom and AJ Styles. I just
Great.
can't get over that AJ's seen in the background, like praying, going
Praying.
like, "Please get healthy, please get healthy."
Yes.
And it set up another match at SummerSlam as well between AJ and Dom for the IC title, which is going to be great. I don't know how I'm going to predict that one. I think that one's going to be a real tough one to predict. But this led into our first match of the evening, which was between Raquel Rodriguez and Roxanne against the Kabuki Warriors of Asuka and Kairi Sane. And this match was fine. I mean, Asuka and Kairi dominated for most of it, as they probably should have. But there was some kind of nonsense shenanigans when Dominic was on the outside of the ring and he distracted Asuka, which allowed Roxanne Perez to get the pin on Asuka for the victory. But this was obviously going to kind of be the way that this one was going to go. They weren't going to beat, Asuka's not going to lose clean ever in
Mhm.
like kind of this kind of match. So there had to be nonsense, and obviously they I feel like they're going to go through them. They might go through Sol Ruka and Zarya, in a week or two as well, before very likely having that match against Charlotte and Alexa, in
Uh,
at SummerSlam.
I do want to say that Soruka, it's a very daring outfit she wears in the ring. It's very daring. I mean, like, I've been waiting for somebody here to start losing their minds, like, oh my God, what is she doing? I mean, like, what are we doing? Oh. Anyways, um, yeah, yeah. I mean, I'll be honest with you, AJ. This style of AJ's we haven't really seen very much in all of his career of being this character guy, and it's great. It's really hilarious. But I do find it interesting, and I know this is like an early kind of pick thing, but I think there's a reason why they don't want AJ to wrestle Dom right now. Because then you set up the expectations for that match. I mean, really, if you the average wrestler would know that AJ is better than Dom.
Sure.
Okay, but I think they're setting it up for Dom to win. Only because that's why you don't let them wrestle each other all. They don't even let them touch each other
Yeah.
all the way up to SummerSlam. So the way to protect Dom, and that's usually what they do with a lot of wrestlers they want to protect, is you just don't let them wrestle
Yeah. It's
until
certainly
it
possible.
actually matters. Yeah, I mean, until it truly matters. So I'm wondering which way they're going to go. I'm thinking they're lining it up for Dom to win this, but we'll see what happens.
Yeah. Yeah. I think like right now, if like, gun to my head, if I had to pick, I would probably also pick Dom right now, but we'll kind of have to see where this goes over the next few weeks. So we had perhaps, I mean, that match, there were two, maybe three matches that you could say on the Evolution show that were, match of the year contenders. Certainly that main event, and then certainly that triple threat to open the show. This match that we got on Monday Night Raw between Lyra and Bailey for in a 2 out of 3 falls match was one of the best free matches on Monday Night Raw between two women that I have ever seen in my life. This match was unbelievable. The psychology in this match, the fact that both of them were trying, like both of them, took a, like Bailey got an early roll up quickly to, to hit for on Lyra to go up 1-0. And then Lyra picked up one a little bit later on, but both of them were because like they hesitated to like do the right thing or to do the wrong thing, to go after like the weakness and stuff like that, and just the psychology of the match. And then the last 5 minutes of the match where they were just going nuts on each other, and Lyra ends up hitting the Nightwing to punch her ticket to go have that match, that rematch with Becky at SummerSlam for the IC title. This match was freaking awesome. It was absolutely awesome. And I love love Bailey, and I think they both just look like a star, like look like absolute stars with this.
I agree with everything you said. I'm even going to go a step further and say, men or women, in my opinion, this probably would be the match of the year, barring nothing else the rest of the year.
Hmm.
This has to be the match of the year. No one's put a match on like that at all this year. Not even at WrestleMania. I mean, they went toe to toe from beginning to end. There was no hiccups in the match. You were engaged. It didn't get boring at any point because sometimes these, 2 out of 3 fall matches can get real boring. It seemed like every time the bell rang, you were getting a new match and something new and something else elevated into the match. I'm gonna be honest with you. Right now, this is the match of the year for me.
Yeah, I mean, I can't even I can't even disagree with you, and I don't even want to like I don't even want to crap on this by saying best women's match of the year. Like this was one of the best matches of the year, and I think when we get to the end of the year, I hope we don't forget about this one, and we don't just think of PLE matches for the best match of the year, because this was awesome. Like just on a random episode of Monday Night Raw, like this match was lights out, fantastic.
Well, here's the kicker too: is that match against Becky better top this.
Hmm.
It better top this because if they don't top this, that match is going to overshadow this title match. Because, in my opinion, the way that match was choreographed, the way they set it up, was a SummerSlam match,
Yeah, absolutely.
and that should have been one of them two, Bailey or Lyra, either one of them having a belt and fighting with it. I just thought that was a SummerSlam. That's a match they needed at SummerSlam. So the
Yeah,
Becky match, it better step up real good.
yeah, absolutely. Completely agree. So I feel like after this, the only kind of blemish on this whole show, because this show was awesome, which I'll let you speak to a little bit. Your girl Nikki Bella and Chelsea Green had a match after a backstage segment earlier, to which saw Nikki Bella defeat Chelsea Green with a Rack Attack 2.0. And then she kind of got ambushed by the Secret Herbis, and Stephanie Victor came in for the save because they were all kind of involved in a backstage segment a bit previous during the show. So, yeah, go ahead. Tell me how you feel about Nikki Bella.
I literally almost went to sleep watching it. I'm dead serious. I almost fell asleep. I kind of my one eye open, one eye was closed, and I was just kind of like, okay, all right, oh, this match is still going. It was. I don't know why we need her back. I don't. I don't understand what the need was for her. Do evolution, walk off into the sunset. The women's division don't need a subpar woman wrestler right now. They just don't. And she's older now. I mean, she almost killed Chelsea Green trying to get her over her shoulders. Did you see that? Her knees were wobbling, and I'm like, oh, please don't stop this right now. Stop this right now. But I don't know. W just likes to hand money over, I guess. I wish he could hand me some money over, like they hand over some of these other people. But yeah, this match didn't mean anything. I don't. It didn't mean anything.
Completely agree. I mean, I think it might have been like an opportunity to have Stephanie Victor be on the show, but I
Mm,
mean, Stephanie Victor could have just been in this match. But I mean, you could have had Stephanie Victor just beat Chelsea Green. That would have been fine. But I mean, whatever. And that was pretty much it, obviously, because after this, it kind of went into that gauntlet match. So, yeah, I gotta say, this was one of the best Raws in a long time, and that return by Roman Reigns, I mean, icing on. It wasn't even, it was already a great show, but this, that's gonna be that kind of thing is what puts it over the edge for me. And I loved this show from top to bottom. It was one of the few Raws that I stayed awake for the whole thing, and I didn't watch it the next morning. And I was so jacked up after Roman Reigns made his return, and I was really waiting to get on and do this like right away with you guys and like just talk about it. And it was awesome. And I'm really getting pumped for SummerSlam now.
Yeah, I agree with you 100%. I really now I'm starting to feel the energy.
Hmm.
They still haven't filled out a 2 day show yet. They still got a ways to go to start building up towards. But I mean, listen again. Tell all your friends. Tell all your family. You heard it here first.
You did hear it here
Roman
first.
Reigns is going to show up at Raw. Now we can't give our sources, but let everyone know that 716 Sports Entertainment called it out.
That's right. That is right. So with that, that was the Raw podcast episode number 35. Thank you guys so much for joining us. And as always, smash that like and subscribe button. We really appreciate it. And we, as we've mentioned before as well, we have a real live NFL game in about 16 days. So we're going to get into it hot and heavy with the football content. And yeah, what do you got?
Don't always believe in what Melter says. Please, people. You guys run with everything he says, and then the internet goes on fire, and it never comes true. So stop it. Stop it. WWE uses him to put out false information, and you guys fall for it every single time. Stop it.
Yeah, dude's a clown. So anyway, smash that like and subscribe button, guys. We really appreciate it. And we are getting super close to 100 subs. So as soon as we do, we're going to have that giveaway like we talked about. And have yourselves a great evening. And don't be like Sean. And take care.